When most people think of World War II, they picture tanks, trenches, and the chaos of combat, not the daily misery of living without basic hygiene. But to the men on the front lines, one of the hardest battles wasn't against the enemy, it was against dirt, sweat, lice, and disease. Weeks in the field without a shower could destroy morale and lead to infections faster than enemy bullets. Yet somehow, even in bombed-out villages and jungle clearings, soldiers found a way to build fully functional showers, without any plumbing or water pressure. This is the forgotten story of the gravity-driven field shower, a low-tech, brilliant solution improvised by soldiers who refused to surrender to filth. And the best part? You can still build one today, with nothing but scrap metal, rope, and a tin can. By 1943, the average infantryman could go 10 days or more without access to running water. In the North African desert, water was rationed by the cup. In the jungles of New Guinea, clean water existed, but it was full of parasites. Soap, if you had it, had to stretch for weeks. Commanders quickly realized that unwashed soldiers weren't just uncomfortable, they were actually combat ineffective. Rashes, infections, and lice led to lost manpower, low morale, and even outbreaks of disease. So, field hygiene became a real tactical priority. Whenever troops set up camp for more than a few days, engineers and medics were given the job of constructing these field baths. These were shower systems powered, not by pumps, but by gravity, and a whole lot of ingenuity. Without pipes or pumps, the only way to get water flowing was to use elevation. Soldiers would scavenge barrels, fuel drums, and even ammo crates to serve as makeshift water tanks. So, the setup was simple, but honestly, pretty brilliant. A large drum, usually around 40 to 50 gallons, would be hoisted up onto a tall wooden frame, or sometimes just hung from tree branches using ropes and pulleys. Then, a small hole was drilled in the bottom and fitted with a spigot, or valve, and that could be made from salvaged plumbing, gun parts, or even tin can lids that were hammered flat and pierced with a nail. Once the drum was filled, usually from a nearby river, a well, or even melted snow, gravity just took over from there. The higher the drum was placed, the stronger the flow you'd get. But the key innovation here was the flow regulator. To keep from wasting water, soldiers would improvise with a tin can or a small metal cup, punching several holes in the bottom. This cup could be filled from the tank above and then used to pour a controlled stream of water over the body. And, some even rigged up rope handles or pulleys so they could dump a bigger rinse at the end. This setup required no pressure system, no electricity, and could be built in under an hour, perfect for forward positions or temporary rest camps. Different theaters developed their own versions. In the Pacific, where humidity turned uniforms into mildew traps, U.S. Marines and Seabees built elaborate bamboo shower racks. They split bamboo poles into hollow channels to carry water from elevated barrels, creating multiple shower heads, using punctured ration tins. In Europe, where units often occupied ruined villages, soldiers used collapsed roofs and second-floor windows to suspend drums. The water, often captured rain or melted snow, was icy cold, but it was enough to prevent trench rot and lice. Meanwhile, in North Africa, British and American troops learned to heat water by leaving barrels painted black under the desert sun. The result was a primitive solar-heated shower system, decades before it was a consumer concept. The ingenuity was universal. No matter the army, the principle stayed the same: water, height, and gravity. If you ever find yourself off-grid or in a survival situation, the World War II gravity shower is still one of the most effective ways to stay clean without modern infrastructure. Here's how you can replicate it using minimal tools. First, find or build a sturdy frame about 6 to 8 feet tall. So, a simple A-frame made of wooden poles or scrap metal works best. You'll need to safely support around 200 pounds of water weight. Next, just use a metal or plastic barrel as your water tank. Drill a small hole in the bottom and fit it with a valve or nozzle. If you don't have plumbing parts, you can flatten a tin can lid, nail a small hole through it, and attach it with rags or rubber strips as a seal. Now, rig up a shower head. A tin can with nail holes makes a perfect low-flow sprayer. Just suspend it beneath the water source with rope or wire. So, if you pour in water from above, you'll get a steady trickle, and honestly, that's more than enough for washing up. For heating, you just use the same desert trick soldiers used back then. Paint the barrel black and leave it out in the sun. On a clear day, you can actually raise the water temperature by 20 to 30 degrees in just a few hours. Finally, build a drainage pit below, a shallow trench filled with gravel. This prevents mud from forming underfoot, something World War II troops learned quickly after standing in muck during their showers. It's simple physics, clever design, and wartime necessity rolled into one. Soldiers often describe their first shower after weeks in the field as almost spiritual. Diaries from both Allied and Axis troops describe washing away days of grime and blood as one of the few truly restorative moments in war. An American infantryman in Italy wrote in his journal in 1944, "We built a rig out of an oil drum and pipe. The water was cold as hell, but I never felt more alive." These improvised showers did more than clean bodies, they cleaned spirits. Commanders noted measurable improvements in morale after regular bathing became part of rotation routines. Hygiene became a symbol of discipline and civilization, right in the middle of all that chaos. These days we've got portable pumps, camping showers, and battery sprayers, but honestly, not many are as durable, scalable, or field-ready as the World War II gravity system. With zero moving parts and materials that just about anyone can salvage, it still stands as one of the best examples of wartime innovation that was really born out of necessity. The principle is timeless: don't fight the environment, work with it. If you're a survivalist, reenactor, or just someone fascinated by the ingenuity of the past, the World War II field shower is more than a curiosity. It's a reminder that innovation doesn't require tech, only need, creativity, and, well, a little scrap metal. The men who built these showers didn't have comfort in mind, they had survival. Yet in solving one of the smallest problems in war, they gave us one of the most enduring off-grid inventions ever created. If you're as fascinated by these forgotten field solutions as I am, make sure to subscribe to Strange History for more deep dives into wartime ingenuity, where survival wasn't an idea, it was a necessity.